I am surrendering the tools of the trade to my dear brother as a former member of the chairmanship of the Standing Committee of Senior Officials, my brother.
Program Director, Your Excellency Ambassador Albert Ranganai Chimbindi, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and outgoing Chairperson of the Standing Committee of Senior Officials, Your Excellency, my dear sister Ambassador Pamela Chisanga, Zambian High Commissioner to Botswana and incoming Chairperson of the Standing Committee of Senior Officials, Your Excellency Mr. Elias Mahosi, Executive Secretary of SADC, Deputy Executive Secretaries and the staff of the Secretariat, Your Excellencies, colleagues, heads of delegations, and as well as representatives from South Africa, my colleagues, members of the media, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, Sanibonani. Those who come from this region mainly would understand what I mean. And welcome to the city of eThekwini. We meet in this great city of Durban in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and this place asks something of us before we begin. Behind this city of eThekwini stands the Drakensberg Mountains, majestic and ancient. Africa would not be taken without a fight. It is also the ground of Pixlika Isaka Seme, growing up in and within sight of these same hills, who stood before the world in 1906 and declared the regeneration of Africa. Pan-African vision helped call the anti-colonial movement into being, and who spent his life insisting that Africans possess the interior resources required to govern themselves with dignity. It was here in this building that Africa chose to honor that dream of Seme in the most concrete way available to it, when the Organization of African Unity was dissolved and the African Union was constituted in July 2002. I know that some in this hall were here. Transforming a body born of the anti-colonial struggle into an institution oriented towards the shared development and political integration of a free continent. We gather in the shadow of that moment, in the same city where Seme's dream was given its most durable institutional expression, and it is therefore entirely appropriate that we come here once more to take stock of what the integration requires of us in our own region as SADC. It is against this background that our President, His Excellency Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, deemed it appropriate that this 46th session of SADC Summit should take place in eThekwini. Ladies and gentlemen, it is both a profound honor and a great privilege to stand before you today as I accept on behalf of the Republic of South Africa the chairpersonship of the SADC Standing Committee of Senior Officials for the period from August 2026 to August 2027. I think that clarification is very, very important because there's been confusion. Are you the chair? Are you not the chair? Are you going to have a summit again next year? No. This is now formally resumption of the leadership of the organization until August 2027. Allow me at the outset to express our sincere gratitude to all member states for the confidence you have placed in South Africa to lead this important institution of our organization. We accept this responsibility with humility and grace, a deep sense of duty, and an unwavering commitment to the principles and aspirations that unite us as a Southern African development community. Today's ceremony is particularly significant in the history of our organization. Although South Africa has had the honor of serving as interim chair of SADC following the unforeseen circumstances that affected our sister Republic of Madagascar, today marks our formal assumption of the substantive chairship. This transition is not merely ceremonial, rather, it reaffirms the resilience of our regional institutions and our collective commitment to ensuring continuity in the work of SADC irrespective of the challenges we may face temporarily. In this regard, I wish to acknowledge with deep appreciation the Republic of Zimbabwe for its remarkable sense of camaraderie, solidarity and selfless leadership in willingly putting its shoulder to the wheel as we collectively sought to keep the leadership wagon of our organization moving during an unprecedented period. Zimbabwe's readiness to host several statutory meetings and ensure the continuity of SADC's work demonstrated an unwavering commitment to our shared values and to the principle that the strength of our organization lies in our collective responsibility. I also wish to pay tribute to the Republic of Zambia, the incoming chair, for the distinguished leadership it has provided during the past year as part of the summit Troika. The progress achieved during this transition has laid a firm foundation upon which we shall continue to build. South Africa looks forward to working closely with Zimbabwe, Zambia and every member state in advancing our shared regional agenda. As the famous African proverb goes, I quote, "Wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it," close quote. Dear colleagues, as a standing committee of senior officials, we must recognize that our responsibility extends well beyond debating issues in our meetings. We are entrusted with ensuring that the Council of Ministers receives strategic, well-considered and implementable recommendations. We serve as a bridge between policy formulation and implementation. The quality of our work will therefore determine not only the effectiveness of the Council's deliberations, but ultimately the pace at which our regional commitments are translated into tangible improvements in the lives of our people, in Umlazi here in South Africa, in Salima in Malawi, in Masvingo in Zimbabwe, in Kitwe in Zambia, in Opuwo in Namibia, or Kasai in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It is therefore appropriate that we approach our work over the coming days with a shared sense of purpose and responsibility. The agenda before us is both extensive and of consequence. It reflects the breadth of the regional integration program and the growing expectations placed upon our community to respond effectively to an increasingly complex regional and global environment, which is characterized by geopolitical uncertainty, economic volatility, climate-related shocks, public health challenges, and evolving peace and security threats. Among the issues before us are matters relating to the financial status of our organization, which remains under considerable pressure owing to the difficult fiscal circumstances facing member states and the continued decline in donor support from our international partners. Peace and security remain among our greatest preoccupations, particularly in light of the continued destabilization of social and economic livelihoods in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. Let me take this opportunity to express my deepest condolences and those of the government of South Africa on the tragic loss of life caused by the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and to reaffirm our solidarity with the people of the DRC during this difficult period. Dear colleagues, our aspiration for a region that produces what it consumes and trades more extensively within itself remain alive. Therefore, industrialization remains the cornerstone of our regional efforts to drive economic transformation, create decent employment, and advance shared prosperity. These efforts must be complemented by sustained investment in infrastructure development, trade and market integration, food and nutrition security, energy security, climate resilience, social and human development, public health, gender equality, youth empowerment, and institutional strengthening, all of which remain at the center of our regional integration agenda. Over the coming few days, our meeting will also consider important reports on the implementation of previous summit and council decisions, progress in strengthening monitoring, evaluation, and reporting systems, as well as resource mobilization, the sustainable financing of the community, and measures aimed at improving the effectiveness and efficiency of SADC institutions. Equally significant will be our consideration of institutional reform initiatives designed to strengthen implementation, improve coordination among member states and the Secretariat, and ensure that the decisions adopted by our institutions produce measurable development outcomes across our region. In this regard, we have all dedicated considerable time to refining the mechanism for rationalizing the number and quality of our decisions, and for these we should all be proud of ourselves. And this is a mechanism that we're looking forward to its adoption. Distinguished delegates, for over decades, SADC remained a symbol of solidarity, collective self-reliance, regional cooperation and unity. Today, our responsibility is to preserve that legacy while preparing our organization for the opportunities of tomorrow. For a farmer in Manzini, Eswatini, a goldsmith in Daraina, Madagascar, a truck driver in Morogoro, Tanzania, a fisherman in Walvis Bay, Namibia, and a boutique owner in Port Louis, Mauritius. This requires us to strengthen the implementation of our regional programs, deepen cooperation among our member states, enhance institutional effectiveness, and continue building a peaceful, prosperous, resilient, and integrated Southern Africa region. This vision must be underpinned by resilient institutions, an ethical organizational culture that promotes transparency and accountability, a professional and committed workforce, and above all, an executive management that unites staff around a common vision and remains fully invested in the affairs, performance, and reputation of the organization. During the coming 12 months, as South Africa leads our organization, and with your continued support, we will strive to discharge our responsibility with humility, a spirit of service, and a sense of agency. Therefore, I pledge to work closely with every member state, the Secretariat, and all SADC institutions in a spirit of openness, inclusivity, and mutual respect. Together, we must continue to strengthen the foundations of our organization and advance the aspirations embodied in the SADC Treaty, Vision 2050, and the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan. As we commence our work today in preparing recommendations for our ministers, I encourage all delegations to engage openly, freely, constructively, and in the spirit of consensus that has always distinguished our organization. Let us approach every agenda item not simply as representatives advancing our national interests or positions of our respective member states, but as custodians of the collective spirit and shared future of our region. I wish us all productive and successful deliberations, and I thank you.